Hey, welcome to the You Ask, the Pros Answer podcast. Your questions answered by the pros you trust. My name is Cole. I am one of the hosts on the show. And today you'll get a chance to hear the culmination of a conversation that Aaron Rodgers started last week with Pro Exteriors project coordinator Josh King. You are in for a treat, so stick around. This is the You Ask, the Pros Answer podcast. Do you have questions about an upcoming exterior contracting project? We've got answers. Welcome to the You Ask, the Pros Answer podcast.
We encounter things on projects all the time, things that we weren't necessarily accounting for in the beginning of the project. Mm-hmm. You know, whether with a roof or with siding, sometimes we open the wall up, we open the roof up, and it's just rot everywhere. Right. I can think of projects where we've torn siding off to find that there's not a single bit of plywood on a house, which is always fun.
Yeah.
I can remember times where we've done siding and roof jobs where we've literally had termites from the sill plate all the way up to the rafters. Mm-hmm. I can think of projects that had, what we thought was going to be shingles over plywood ended up being shingles over plywood over shingles over shingles over cedar over cedar.
Mm-hmm.
Specific job I'm talking about over in Greenwood.
Yeah.
Where it was like, 7 layers?
Yeah, it was 7. Yeah.
That was the craziest. That was the first time I'd ever seen cedar over cedar.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it had multiple layers of asphalt on top of that was crazy.
Wild.
I don't even know how that happens.
It's insane.
So what are some things you can think of that like nightmare situations that you've run into? Projects that you got into it thinking it was going to be one thing and ended up being a whole slew of others.
Yeah. It happens a lot with roofing jobs if it's not unforeseen circumstances there where you run into multiple layers or you take some siding off that you need to replace flashing and like, oh man, they don't have plywood behind that siding. They don't have house wrap. And that's all horrible shape.
Yeah.
The kick out flashing issues where you're, at the eaves there where the roof line runs into the house and it's just completely rotted out. And it's just, siding. I mean, of course, siding, you go to take off siding and you just find a slew of issues.
Always.
Yeah.
Especially older homes. If it's not, if the house is say older than say 40 years old, where the chance of this being, potentially a second or third time they've had the siding replaced.
Yeah.
If it's a second layer of siding on there, how many times do we deal with houses where you tear siding off and there's 1/4-inch rigid foam and then there's asbestos tiles behind that.
Right.
I can remember some houses where we tore off, it was vinyl siding or aluminum siding on the outside, 1/4-inch foam, and then it was asbestos tiles, and then it was the original wood clapboard siding with no plywood.
Yeah.
Old clapboard, older houses, they used to install the wood siding directly to the studs, which was always interesting.
Yeah.
So,
and then you get into a giant issue there when you have to tear everything off, put plywood on, insulate probably because it's a lack of framing. You can run into, the studs being rotted at that point, just issue after issue, sill plates, and then how far do you go?
Yeah, and in an ideal world, we want to tear it back to a point that we can put it all back to current code.
Right.
But, we're limited based upon essentially time and budget.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to have the budget to tear half the house apart. Yeah. So in situations where you run into a job that's got kind of some unexpected issues or, you've got some design flaws or you found an additional layer, how do you typically handle that? Like what's your course of action? Who are you letting know first?
Well, whatever crew we have on whichever job we're working on to find this, we're going to talk about it first and see if that's going to produce any other issues. If you have an extra layer on a roof job that's, you have J channel and you have siding on parts of the house that you have to remove, then that roof is going to drop a good ways when you get into 2 and 3 layers of whatever it is. So then you're going to need, some J channel, maybe some siding, depending on what you're dealing with. And so just to look at all of those, whatever issues might arise from having that pop up, then going over all that with the crew. Then if the homeowner's present, letting them know, like, hey, we didn't realize, but now we know there's an extra layer, and hopefully before telling the customer, I'm letting the sales guy know, hey, we missed this. We had this pop up. This is going to be a additional cost or additional issue, and
or additional time
for sure. Yeah.
We typically try and schedule jobs daily to keep our crews as busy as we possibly can. And, if a 1-day job turns into a 3-day job, then obviously potentially you're going to have some disappointed people saying, hey, I know we're supposed to be there tomorrow, but we're not now.
Yeah.
And that has a trickle down effect to basically every customer that's scheduled for the next several weeks out.
Exactly.
It's a nightmare.
It is. It can be. Yeah. But, just making sure everybody that needs to be made aware is made aware. And then, it's not something that the customer would have to know right away, because it's not going to change that we're going to do the job
right
appropriately and the same way that we would have without that issue arising. Everything's still going to be completed as it should be. It's just a matter of our extra effort.
Yeah.
That's being involved. So,
okay. Switch gears slightly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you about some red flags from customers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it multiple times in previous episodes where we talk about, the red flags of hiring a contractor. So from your standpoint, the consumer, what red flags to look at before making a final decision on the contractor. So, sales guys sell a job. You go to show up in the morning. What red flags do you look for? Like, you pull up into a job, whether it's a roof, a siding, a windows job, deck, whatever it is. Are there any red flags that pop in your mind as far as like, this is going to be one of those type of jobs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. When you pull up and there's just the most immaculate landscaping that you've ever seen, it immediately hits me like, oh man, these guys are not going to like us being here. They're not going to like the work that we're about to do. And, I might hear something about a flower being twisted or a piece of mulch being left in the driveway.
Right.
Just a thought that crosses my mind, like, man, this is a beautiful, beautiful home with beautiful landscaping, and they're going to be mad at me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. We deal with, properties that are, say, in our market could be worth 300,000 or they could be worth 6 million.
Right.
So, you're going to deal with people that invest tens of thousands of dollars annually into their landscaping.
Yeah.
That, they have their lawn treated for every possible foreign non-grass plant that could potentially arise. And they have irrigation, and they have professionally landscaped flower beds all the way around the property. They've got these immaculate fences, maybe a pool, pavers, decorative concrete, like every possible surface that could potentially have an issue.
Yeah.
They have it.
Yep.
And,
and they like it.
They love it.
Yeah.
They pay good money for it.
Exactly.
Ongoing.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so I could understand why that's a red flag.
Yeah.
What other red flags are you thinking? What if you show up and they've got every potential lawn ornament, bird bath, decorative, puppy fencing, all the way around the property?
I'd say that's more of a yellow flag than a red flag.
Okay.
A lot of those things, we'll take a picture and then move it out of our way for whichever job we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can put it back where it belongs.
Right.
And usually, communicating that with the homeowner, hey, we got to move this so it doesn't get damaged.
Right.
It's just we're we're trying to be safe than sorry. And so I would put that as like a yellow flag. Yeah, we can, if it's movable, we can move it, and we'll move it and move it back, but just to prevent damages. But you can't move landscaping.
What about beware of dog signs?
That's one of my red flags.
That's one of your red flags.
Yeah.
You've had some instances with some dogs that were
Few.
I wouldn't necessarily say they were aggressive, but
Some were aggressive.
They smelled you like you were dinner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been not here, not working for Pro Exteriors.
At least not while he was on the clock.
Right. Yeah. I was off the clock whenever this may or may not have happened. I've been bit by dogs before, and a beware of dog sign is a red flag for me.
Yeah.
And we got in a pretty good habit where the sales guys would say, "Hey, Josh, we're doing this job tomorrow." They have a giant
small horse.
Yeah. A giant dog or a small horse that is slightly aggressive, is awfully loud and talkative, and
likes to smile.
Yeah. Licks its lips when it looks at people. And that's good information for me to have. I greatly appreciate having that information so I can say, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, I'd like to get in your backyard to do the job we're here to do.
Right.
Could I do that without losing a foot or something?
Yeah.
Or half of a butt cheek? Because that would be ideal." And the little dogs, I'm not, I mean, I know they can be more aggressive than the big dogs at times, but I'm not like a little person. So I'm not as red flagged about a little dog, but the medium.
If they're taller than your cowboy boots, that's when it potentially becomes a red flag.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I have dogs. I love dogs.
Yeah.
But not everybody's dog
loves you.
Likes the smell of my dogs, or likes the smell of me, or
Okay. What about things like you pull up and the driveway is just full of cars? Nowhere for you to park, nowhere for the dumpster. Delivery is going to be an issue. And some of them look like they're non-operable.
Yeah, that would go in the red flag category.
Red flag, kind of an issue.
Yeah.
Our crews tend to start a little early. So, even though we give them a heads up, going to knock on somebody's door at say 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell what reaction you're going to get.
It is. Yeah. Especially when you're asking them to move 7 cars and a boat out of the way that you can get your materials up on the roof, or, your materials placed in the backyard, or the dumpster in the driveway. And that could definitely be on the red flag list. I don't mind helping push a car if it's going to help make everybody's lives easier. But, there's inoperable ones that are going to be right in your way. Yeah,
or it's just going to cause a degree of difficulty, or it's going to slow down production. And it's something we don't typically account for.
No.
Like if I can't get a delivery truck in there and I have to hand load the roof, that's not ideal.
It's not ideal at all.
Yeah.
And on that same note, pulling in and it's a immaculate driveway that looks, brand new, and it's freshly sealed blacktop, or like you mentioned before, decorative concrete, that's a red flag as well. Like, man, I don't even want a little screw to drop on this driveway.
I don't want anything. Nobody can drive on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Just keep everybody off.
Last one I'll give to you. And this is the only one that popped in my mind. Otherwise, you show up to a job site and there's another contractor working on the property at the same time. Red flag, yellow flag.
Another contractor, another company, or one of
just another trade contractor working on separate part of the property. So let's say we show up and the HVAC guys are replacing the HVAC system at the same time.
Oh man, that's a red flag. Maybe a yellow flag. What's between red and yellow?
Orange.
All right, let's go.
Yes. I don't know. I think
turquoise.
so.
This is a turquoise flag.
Should we ask the chat? Hey, chat. What's between red and yellow? I think it's orange. I'm not sure. Roy G. Yeah, something like that.
Red, orange, yellow. Yeah, orange.
I got it right.
So it's a caution flag.
It's a caution flag. Okay.
It's not yellow.
There we go.
just a caution. Just because anybody that's around the house, around the area that we're working, if we're doing a deck or a porch, that might not be as big of an issue. If they're on the left side, we're doing our thing on the back, it might be all right.
Right.
But just having somebody else to watch out for, because especially if you're doing roofing or siding, you're going to be throwing materials down and around, and stuff's going to be falling, and it's just somebody else that you have to watch out for and be cautious of where they are throughout just the entire project.
Adding more liability.
Which goes in the same page with the dogs.
I'll say that I don't know if this is something that's happened anytime in the last. I don't know if you've experienced this in the 4 years you've been here, but I can remember a couple of times doing projects where we literally had like retired homeowners where they grabbed lawn chairs and they sat in the yard essentially all day. They went in to grab their lunch, glass of water, came right back out. They sat in that lawn chair all day long.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Too much.
It's too much. It is.
Or you get the ones that love to talk in a half an hour first thing in the morning when you're trying to like get all your tools set up and prep for the day and everything else, and they want to. Yeah.
And I'm all for the customer service part, and I'm friendly. Most would say I'm friendly. I think. I hope that I'm a nice, friendly person.
We've actually got the results from a recent poll about Josh's friendliness. Kara, would you like to put that up on the screen?
Oh, that's Woohoo! I take it back.
So, a couple of questions, and we'll get this wrapped up. Are there any designs, like design trends or products you wish would just go away? It could be colors. It could be people doing this with this while also having this. Anything that comes to your mind as far as products or design things that you say, just I wish they would just stop.
I'm pretty open-minded. As far as something that I would say that I just hate dealing with, I can't think of. Cedar. Having to tear off cedar when it's 102 degrees outside and the sun is blistering hot, and you got 3 layers and you're ripping off cedar and you've snorted all the cedar dust you can manage to get in your nose holes. That's the worst. Putting it on is it's nice and it's pretty and it's neat when you put it on cedar.
Yeah.
But man, tearing it off is a nightmare.
I'll tell you one that I really wish would stop, and that would be I don't like grand rib metal roofing on a residential home.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of it.
Really?
I especially hate it when it gets installed over top of an existing layer of shingles.
That's pretty rough.
I don't think that was the product. It wasn't designed to go on that home. And I don't know, for one reason or another, I've never been a fan of it. I think it's an agricultural looking product. And right. I mean, I'll install it. We installed, tons of them.
Yeah.
I just never been a fan of it.
On the roof or siding or all together?
Well, I've never really used it as siding that I could think of. I just don't like it. Like you go into a neighborhood and it's a kind of a neighborhood of older homes. It's a bunch of, 1-story ranchers or story and a half, split levels and stuff like that. I just don't really care for installing grand rib metal roof on residential homes.
Well,
never enjoyed it. It's just a trend I wish would go away.
Huh. Is it the having to do exposed fasteners?
I don't like exposed fasteners. It's a lifetime product with one specific failure point that's going to fail at some point.
It's absolutely going to fail.
Yeah, and depending on what color roofing and the environment that you're in, those little neoprene rubber washers could last 10 years or they could last 25.
Right.
But at some point, that roof's going to fail, and you're going to have to replace all of those fasteners.
Yeah.
And I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Just not a fan. But cost point.
Yeah.
It's more economical than most of your other metal roofing options. And I understand why people choose that, in the days where when you wanted a lifetime roof, metal was technically a lifetime roof because metal doesn't really deteriorate. It doesn't blow off. It doesn't really do a lot of the things that we deal with or we dealt with shingles, but now we have lifetime shingles.
Right.
With a warranty that stands behind the lifetime. Whereas a metal roof, the only warranty you have is the color, the fade. And even that is subjective.
It is.
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
So what do you think about barn dominiums?
I like barn dominiums.
Yeah.
Because it is not a standard residential home. It is a ginormous building that is meant to look, in most ways, it's meant to look like a ginormous garage or barn.
Right.
You know, you could put some residential styling on it, but at the end of the day, you never look at that and go, why does that home look like a barn?
Yeah.
That barn is a home. There's no, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, I actually really, really enjoy them. I've seen some barn dominiums were kind of like a no-go here for a lot of years. And over the last couple of years, the county's kind of opened it up and more people have been allowed to build them. We had the property we had out on Bacon's Road over in Laurel. That area right there was like maybe 6 or 8 of them and within a stone's throw.
Yeah.
And man, some of those things were ginormous.
Yeah.
You could tell that they most likely had kind of a giant RV or some sort of like tractor trailer, 18-wheeler, very large vehicles and trailers because the doors were ginormous.
Right.
But dude, I tell you, when you look over at the other section, the living portion of it, it was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. I like when people do barn dominiums, but they use like the kind of the colder steel or the colder metal roof and siding, but then they'll incorporate like some more natural wood. Specifically, like I've seen a bunch of them that have like nice, thick, chunky, like real wood columns and headers. And I think when you kind of do the coldness of the metal and then the warmth of the wood, I think it's a really cool union there.
Yeah.
So
strongly agree.
Yeah.
There's porches on those where there's cedar or stained. I think they look amazing.
Yeah. So Josh, I want to thank you for your time today. I know this is not typically what you do on a daily basis, but I'm sure it's nice to be in the AC on a 90-degree day. I want to thank you for your time today. Thank you for spending a little time here with me. It's always a pleasure to get to see your smiling voice and your cheerful eyes.
That is all we have for you today on the You Ask the Pros Answer podcast. Hey, would you please continue to help get the word out about the show? One of the best ways to do that is to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. If you are watching on YouTube right now, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, we want to hear from you. What are some of the questions you have related to exterior home remodeling? You can send those questions directly to info@askproexteriors.com and place "You Ask" in the subject. If you are facing an upcoming home remodeling project, we hope this episode has empowered you to tackle it with confidence. Remember, knowledge is power, and a little bit of research can go a long way. Until next time, happy homeowning. The You Ask the Pros Answer podcast is produced in-house by the Pro Exteriors team. Pro Exteriors is the exterior contracting division of Empire Construction Group, LLC. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice. For more answers to your questions, please subscribe to this channel and podcast so you'll never miss an episode. Do you have an upcoming home remodeling project? Find more answers to your questions at askproexteriors.com. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Would you please help us out by hitting that subscribe button? That would be awesome. Also, if you never want to miss another one of our uploads, please be sure to hit that notification bell. All right, thanks. See ya.